There are so many people that are significant in our lives. And when it comes to a stage in my life where I was in my senior 5, in Namirembe Hillside, I met a very, very, very inspiring gentleman. His name is Humphrey Nabimanya. Please be reminded that I was on TV at a younger age, but he reintroduced me back into the TV industry. And I'm pretty sure you want to know, who is this gentleman? What does he do and where is he from? This is how inspirational he was, even in the 3 weeks that I met him. He later on took me back to TV, and of course, the rest is what you enjoyed. Now I like this gentleman, and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy the interview with him. Enjoy it. Tell you that while I was at Namirembe Hillside is when I met someone so significant in my life, and this is none other than Mr. Humphrey Nabimanya. Without further ado, allow me to let him introduce himself. Hello, Humphrey.
Hi, Kleith. How are you?
I'm good.
Humphrey Nabimanya. I'm really so humbled that Kleith is doing this journey. I mean, it's very few people that really think about it, and very few people, even me, it's a learning lesson that I have to now go back.
Yeah.
And start appreciating my journey and people that have been in my journey. So I really appreciate that from you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did meet Humphrey at Namirembe Hillside. Remember, I was there for only 3 weeks. But in the 3 weeks that I was there, like my former teachers have been telling you, I was a very friendly and social person. So I met Humphrey at Namirembe Hillside, and he actually brought me back to TV. He gave me a great opportunity to work with him at NBS television. But before that, remember, I was in the same school with him, and of course he was a prefect. Let's take it back from there. What kind of person was I?
I've always remembered Kleith. Like, in those 3 weeks that Kleith was at school, there was so much fire into her. She was very energized, she was very friendly, she was that person that connects everything. You want something, Kleith is there. You want to talk to someone, Kleith is there. So she was that kind of girl that was so much, she was social, she was open, and she was, like when new girls have just come at school, you'd start earmarking them. But Kleith was never earmarked, because she never allowed to be earmarked, so she was with everyone at all times of points. So at that time, for me, I looked at the fire that was within her. I looked at the aggressiveness that was within her, and also she was really committed. So when she left school, it's like she left a small gap of people that had known her in just a few weeks that she was at school. So later on, me, I was already working on TV, and I was like, if I'm done with senior 6, I'm going to really look for Kleith to come and work on TV. So even through that, during holidays we'd meet, because some of her friends were mainly in the same circles that we were really operating in. So the fire in Kleith really continued. So one moment I remember there's a friend of hers that we were trying to hook up with someone. and then through this, we went out at a certain place. So I called my producer, is the one who wanted this friend of ours. So when they sat, they talked, and after, this friend of ours ordered for chips and chicken. We also did, and we had used our small money to do that. And this friend of Kleith decides not to eat the food and says, you know what, let them pack it. And this guy said, no way. You cannot pack that food because I've used my money to buy it, so you have to eat it.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I started telling the woman I had sure really, why not really eat the guy's food? But within that, I was always telling her, I'm able to work on TV, And also one thing that I really liked about Kleith is that the time she accepted to work on TV, she came on condition. She never came on any conditions. She knew that the TV we're going to work for she's not going to get any penny.
Yeah.
she knew that she had already understood the vision of what she's going to get out of this platform. And this is 10 years ago when Kleith had just finished Form 6. Because by the time she got done, I said, Kleith, you come and work on TV. There's nothing but the platform we're going to create together. Because with her, I sat down with her and I told her my plans. You know, I have plans of starting up an organization. I plan to do this. But also for you, I see in this line of you being aggressive this side, being even a fashion designer. We talked about so many things. But Kleith had that passion and willingness to push herself, and she started working with me on TV.
You know, one of the things that that I liked about Humphrey, because you know when you're in the lower classes, you usually want to hang out with people in the higher classes. So Humphrey would still be advising us, you know, coupling is not good, you know, you can easily get pregnant, you know. So by the time he was telling me about his dreams and organization, you know, like the likes of New Vision, World Vision, I'm just looking at him thinking,
Yeah.
look at this man's dreams. You know, because by then you don't know how you can make it happen. So slowly by slowly, of course, I started working at NBS. Actually, I started working at NBS when I was in my S5. So S6, we went on. By VAC, when I finished, I was still working with NBS. But Humphrey had always been telling me, I'm now getting ready. And he kept, you know, telling me about the plans of Richer Hand. This is where we are going. This is where we're going. You know, by then, I honestly didn't see the vision. I couldn't see it then. I don't even know about the next Saturday, because every after Saturdays, whenever we finished our live show, we would then go to Richer Hand and reach out to different schools. But he would always invite me. But I honestly went as your friend. I didn't go like someone who believed in the dream. So we used to be sponsored by Fanta. This is not Kalama. We used to be sponsored by Fanta. So he would tell me, you know, I'm going to look for these people so that they can sponsor us. Now that day, I believed in your dream. We went to Kamocha, just adjacent to the new Cafe Javas, close to our school, and we were with a few people. So I saw all like these great people in Uganda, like musicians, artists. They are there and they're talking about Richer Hand Foundation, the organization, and I just kept looking at Humphrey, thinking to myself, wow, this man has gathered all these people and they're putting this dream to life. Now the next time I came, I could see it, which I think is what we need as young people. Sometimes we have a dream in us, we have a vision, and as much as some people cannot see it, and we can't blame them, like I didn't, not until that day. We cannot blame them because they don't imagine as much energy as you're imagining. They don't imagine as much hard work or even the possibilities. Because you kept talking about everyone you knew and how, you know, these people should help you. You kept talking about NBS, you know, I'm on NBS, I'm telling them about my program, but they are not minding, yet we are working for free, you know. They should at least support me in one way or the other. So I believe eventually, you know, there were people who held your hand and we kept talking about Richer Hand, and before I knew it, oh my God, I was passing by posters and I'm seeing the hand. I'm like, this is Humphrey's thing. That really overjoyed me. So the first time I came back to this office, it's been 6 years ago, unfortunately, shamelessly. It's been 6 years ago and I came back to tell him, Humphrey, I'm so proud of you. You know, you had your dream and I took it for granted. I'm so sorry, but I'm so happy that this is what this has become. And so because I'm doing my journey, as you know, the kind of work that I'm doing, I get a lot of people who ask me, how? I mean, you're this young, how can you be doing such things? But I remember you are the first person, Humphrey, who showed me it's possible. So I've always told you, even on phone, you know, this really makes me emotional because we have so many dreams, you know, but we lack people to believe in us, motivate us, and even encourage us. Like for me, I know that what you want to do is possible because I saw it be possible for you. I know that you can move on, you know, because I saw you move on. Every day we came to work with no money. We went to host MC shows with no money. We invested our own transport. We actually laughed about it. I remember this border, that's what I was going to talk about. I remember this one time when we were coming from the border, from I think it was Kadanke or Baz, and then we still had to be live on our show. And then, you know, there were kids who were waving at us, Humphrey, Kleith, because we were going to the show. Then Humphrey was like, it was so funny. Like, who can believe we invested so much time. We were working for free. We had no facilitation. But what kept me going was because he said, this is what I'm going to do. After people get to know me, after people get to believe in me, this is what I do. Because I don't think in my heart of hearts, I, Kyatuhaire, would work for free.
True.
No. Because like my teachers were saying, I was very outspoken and a bit cheeky.
Yeah.
I would ask someone, how are you making me work for free?
For free, yeah.
This doesn't even make sense. But he kept telling me, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Some shows, I would tell him, no, Humphrey, I'm not going to come to MC that. He's like, no, these ones, they are giving us transport. You just come, I reach there. And they're not giving us transport. He's like, I don't know why they didn't give us. I'm like, Humphrey! You know? So I'm really very appreciative. I really appreciate you, Humphrey Nabimanya. I've always told you, and I'm so grateful to God that this is not new. Like, you're shocked. No, I've always told you every time, I'm like, Humphrey, thank you for the opportunity you gave me. Thank you for believing in me. I also thank God because He put that within you. You know, so many people might see Reach a Hand Foundation now, and it's just Reach a Hand right now. But it's not what it was.
Before, yeah.
Exactly. So I want to know more about your organization. Now times have grown. How do you make partnerships with people? What kind of support do you need? Even the youth. Sometimes we feel like we are young. There is not much that we can, you know, do with the organizations that are still around us. How do you go about it, and how can you be helped? Everybody needs help. It doesn't have to be financial. There's so many ways. What exactly are you looking at in terms of taking Reach a Hand Foundation to another scope? Also, still, you could tell some of our viewers who don't know what Reach a Hand is anyway.
So, Reach a Hand is a youth-led and youth-serving organization that is working on youth empowerment. But I'm really humbled, Kleith, for that. It's always good to hear more from you because it's a great example for so many young people that we work with. So Reach a Hand is that organization that works with young people to empower them in different aspects, empowering them for them to realize their dreams. And I think that's a kind of story that even we are telling now, that before it was an individuals pushing each other, you know, trying to look at 10 years from now, what are we going to be? Are we going to be in media, or we are going to be more enricher in terms of reaching out to as many young people that not only watching us on TV back then, but also providing opportunities, you know, for them to be working. And also that's what Reach a Hand has really done for the past years. And you ask a very important question, is that what do we really need? One of the things is that we need people to believe in us and know that we are so much passionate in what we're doing. For us, this was our calling, you know, and if you hear Kleith's story, that he started way back from school, because that was my calling. It's not that I woke up one day that I want to make money and then I started up Reach a Hand. No. Even by the time I started up Reach a Hand, I didn't even have money. I didn't even have anything. No. But all I had were the Kleith that we used to move with in different schools to go to MC, but naturally I was building up a profile out of Reach a Hand, and that's the calling that I really had. And because I believed in that calling is what has made Reach a Hand to be where it is. And also we need more people to believe in what we do. I mean, like if let's say Kleith, let's say in Dubai, how can we build up more capital there in terms of people believing in what we do, and also try to see how they can support us? So if people are in the diaspora, how can we be all philanthropists? Because the kind of work we're now doing is also, I've been seeing most of your knowledge on Facebook and YouTube. It's you giving back. It's you being a philanthropist. I mean, you teach young people every day how they can be entrepreneurs, how they can be that. And so we need more people like you to really believe in what we're doing currently right now. So we have different programs that we're running that ranging in terms of menstrual hygiene. Imagine we now reach in over 43 districts, and most girls cannot even go to school because they cannot afford a sanitary pad. Or maybe most girls are getting pregnant on a daily basis because they are affected by abject poverty at home. Even they cannot afford to buy them pads. We have so many girls at the age of 14, 16 getting married at an early age. We're having the rise of HIV and HIV rates growing up, even caused by the COVID pandemic. So all these are issues that we have to solve. All these are issues that we have to come back together, and we're able to work together to really, you know, support our generation, our societies, so that they can be able to make informed choices in life. So we need a lot of support. We need a lot of people who can believe in us. We need a lot of people who can really invest in what we do. Yeah.
So I know that you have brought on a lot of people in order to speak and to give back to these other people that are in these low areas or people that are lacking. How do you gauge your growth among the youth? How do you tell that you're now making a difference?
I mean, like, the difference starts from way back before Kleith. If you remember the times we used to have audience shows, imagine how many kids now that you see as TV presenter that came alone from that show.
Yes.
That's the impact we created together. If you look at when Richard Hand started, how many young people have got employability in it, starting from NBS alone, like 30 people that are working there have been like our peer educators in Richard Hand, but they're being employed. Look at over 15 organizations have been started out of Richard Hand peer educators. So if it comes, that's a direct impact we created. Richard Hand is now employing over 40 people. That's a kind of direct impact we created. If you look at our programs, for example, we do TV content like Chandala that employs over 200 people in one set. You know, that's the kind of impact we're creating in terms of unemployment issue that we're facing in this country. Richard Hand is working with over 719 young people across the country directly, and those are people that we're supporting that depend on us, and other people depend on them because they're creating that huge impact into their country, into their different societies. We're looking at, you know, because that's a direct impact that Richard Hand creates on a yearly basis. But when it comes to the scientific impact in terms of behavior change programs, I mean, we've empowered so many young people that are really inspired by the work we do, and they're able to do it differently, and also they're able to make the right choices in life. So that's a kind of how we gauge impact, and also that's how we are seeing this kind of impact that is being created.
Do you mentor people at Richard Hand Foundation?
Yes. Personally, I'm starting up, so through our Peer Educators Academy program, we mentor. And those are the young people that I was telling you about that are able to achieve quite a lot in what they're doing. Those are the young people that are working with our programs. So they are mentored, and that's why they're able to start up their own organizations. They're able to get employment elsewhere and even excel on it. They have created impact in different spaces. Also, as Humphrey right now, I'm starting up 2 fellowship programs. One fellowship program, I'm focusing to this remote area village that I'm coming from, to now start mentoring the leaders that are going to shape up my village where I'm coming from. So that's like a 1-year program. Then I'm starting up another Humphrey program, which is called the Namirembe Fellowship, that is going to now look at the young leaders that have gone through Richard Hand, that are able now. I'm looking at leaders basically who are CEOs of different organizations that they have started up on their own. I'm looking at you know, people that are into the employment sector but have gone through Richard Hand as our peer educators. So now that fellowship is to expose them, is to get them connected, is to get them educated on how to do things, is to interact with people like you who can even support them and mentor them further. So that's how we also design our mentorship programs on a daily basis, besides what Richard Hand really do.
This is amazing. Of course, I cannot ignore the new normal, Corona.
Yeah.
How are you able to, because now I know you cannot be able to reach these kids or the pupils so closely. Do you have doctors on ground? How are you going about with it?
So we work with government facilities, we work with private facilities that are able to, that are able to provide services. And also I mentioned about the 719 peer educators we work with across the country. So these are basically heavily invested into the societies where these people are. So they're able to reach out with information and also link them to services. Our programming, of course, we will observe the SOPs. We are now doing a lot of virtual conversations, virtual concerts with young people to entertain them and educate them. We're also launching up a youth television very soon that is going to be targeting young people. We are starting up training programs that are targeting both teachers and non-teaching staff because they have to understand how to handle young people. So we are trying also to move with the new innovations. You know, we have a Sauti Plus app whereby young people can access information at all times on their phone.
Brilliant.
We have a USSD code whereby those who don't have smartphones can also access information by typing in star 284 star 15 hash, and they're able to get all the kind of information and also be referred with services. So we have done that. We are on TV, we are everywhere. Yeah, we have a donation poll. One is that we are moving global as well. We are We are starting Reach a Hand USA and Reach a Hand UK. So we're going to be able now to have proper donation portals that money can come directly to the organization. But also now we're fundraising locally. So if you want to support us, we reach out, give you a bank account and you're able to support us. Or if you want to be part of our programs, to do voluntary basis, to work with us as well, you come at our office. It's always open for volunteers. We're able to work together. Yeah.
This is amazing. I cannot ask anymore because I feel like I have exhausted my questions. But just in case you have something that you would like to ask about Reach a Hand Foundation, I'm sure they can find you on all social media platforms, which are?
We are Reach a Hand Facebook, Reach a Hand Twitter, Reach a Hand Instagram. We have Sauti Plus both on Twitter and on Facebook. As Humphrey, I'm found on all platforms, LinkedIn to TikTok to everywhere.
To TikTok?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a TikToker. Just learning.
Thank you so much. It's been really nice to be here.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure seeing you again and again.
Yeah.
And just in case you have so many other questions that are outside of Reach a Hand Foundation, just get in touch with me here on my YouTube channel, or even still get in touch with Humphrey. There's always in one way or the other that you can help, even just with advice, or even there's so many ways of helping. I can't thank you enough for coming along with me for my journey. This is the great man, Humphrey Nabimanya.
I'm so humbled.
Thank you. When I was working on T Nation, Canary used to come, and he would be among the people who would be with us. And I would always tell him, "You're going to make it."
I was coming for a screen test.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Yeah, come and we'll do it this way." Then I would end up on the program.
Exactly.
With Christopher and.
Yeah. And so I used to always tell Canary, "But you're so good at presenting. You're really going to do this thing." It's like, "Yeah, I really want to get this job, blah, blah, blah." But then I guess, it didn't work out. It was supposed to work out at NBS.
Okay.
NBS is one of the places where I started from.
Yes, so I left T Nation, then I went to Youth Voice. Then I found there Vicky.
Yeah.
Then,
Vicky Biz.
Yes. Then I left NBS, then I went to WBS. And that's how I met Sasha.
Oh, this is where it all began. While you people were supposed to be concentrating on work, you were doing other things.
Good to see you, Kleith.
Good to see you too. This is my Ugandan number, and then I've also sent
This one is on WhatsApp, that one.
Both. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too after a very long time.
I know.
Why don't you change?
Excuse me? Change what? Has your environment changed? Has Uganda changed?
You've never changed.
That's not my aim.
Hey, Uganda has changed. You left when we were in a population of 20 million. We are now double.
I'm so happy to see you. How are you? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. I know. How is Youth Voice going?
They left to the other days.
Youth Voice ya what? When are you going to program here?
Focus. I don't want you never be out.
I'm sad. Munkomyewo ogikole. Sikyagisobola oba tebakyansobola.
Uli mukulu kati.
Nkyali youth. Nkyali youth.
Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
How are you?
I'm okay. So I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you to the baddest, the best, the coolest, the timeless producer of the show that everybody has been talking about, NTV Dance Party. I'm so glad to be here with her because most times I either catch her on social media or even just her WhatsApp, you know?
So you need to have the skill of leading a team. And it's funny how you need to deal with, it's different when you have to deal with a group of young people, young famous people.
Exactly.
Yeah?
The big time
The
celebrities. Well, what an amazing and interesting conversation from Humphrey Nabimanya. Imagine just having such a passion, such a dream, so young, and you nurture it up to this point. By the way, some time ago I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, I only know of 3 people that actually wanted to become something and they became it. I know of somebody that wanted to become a doctor and he's a doctor. I know somebody that wanted to become a lawyer and he's a lawyer. But many of us diverged from what we wanted to be, but he kept it and he is still doing what exactly he loves to do. And of course, if you want somebody like Humphrey Nabimanya to monitor you or even mentor you, give you a word of encouragement, all you just have to do is get in touch with Reach a Hand Foundation.